You don't want to be called Judas. When that name comes up, it's not just a name, it's a symbol for betrayal. In the minds of most people, someone who is called a Judas is someone who has betrayed a friend, a loved one, or a trust. That name represents the end of a relationship, the kind of failure that can't be undone. Whether in historical stories or everyday conversations, no one wants to be labeled as Judas. But there's something that not many people realize. Judas wasn't just a traitor. He was a person full of inner turmoil and contradictions. His story isn't just one of betrayal, it's one of inner struggle between expectations, disappointment, and flawed decisions. Can you relate to Judas? Imagine standing in his shoes, facing disappointment and feelings of betrayal. What would you do to change that? If your answer is yes, don't miss the upcoming stories in this journey. We are not the same dot at this moment. You might find yourself at an important crossroads, much like Judas did in his life. These words of mine aren't just meant to encourage or create any division. It's the truth. You and I are not alike. Maybe you've heard about me through Shell's words, but let me make it clear. You need to understand that you and I are not on the same path. Yes, I am the anointed high priest of Israel. I am the only one allowed to enter the Holy of Holies, the place where only the closest communion with God can be achieved. I represent the entire nation, carrying this responsibility heavier than anyone else. And you, on the other hand, are someone else. You are helping your people in a completely different way. Are we not people filled with ideals and expectations? Or are we sometimes simply looking for something to believe in, a Messiah we can follow? So, are you ready to do hard things? Jesus asked him, but really, it's to pose a bigger question. Could he follow a difficult and challenging path, or would he give up when the things he expected didn't happen? I believe you will change the world, and I want to be a part of it. Jesus said to Judas, and in his heart, a new hope was lit. If you feel that this question resonates with your heart, be sure to hit the subscribe button right now to follow more stories behind the big decisions in history and life. But things didn't go as Judas had expected. Jesus was not the man he expected to lead an army. He wasn't the one to wield a sword and defeat the Roman Empire. Jesus wasn't a mighty warrior. He was a man with a loving heart, constantly teaching about forgiveness and humility. The miracles Jesus performed, the words he spoke, they all made Judas feel disappointed. He didn't see the warrior he was hoping for, the one who would bring freedom to his people. Instead, he saw a teacher with messages of peace and love, which he felt couldn't help him achieve the great goals he had envisioned. That Judas lost faith in Jesus. He couldn't bear the disappointment any longer, the feeling of being let down by everything he had believed in, the anger and frustration rising within him. Jesus wasn't what he expected, and that led Judas to gradually lose faith in him. He had seen too many failures, too many promises unfulfilled, and in his mind, an idea began to form. Perhaps there was only one way to force Jesus to act and do what he expected, and that was to betray him. What do we do when our faith is tested? And have you ever wondered, in those most disappointing moments, what you would do? We cannot ignore the moment when Judas made his decision. It was when he began to plan his betrayal. He wanted to push Jesus to his limits, make him act faster and more decisively, or be exposed as a fraud. But what Judas didn't realize was that, in his thoughts filled with disappointment and anger, he wasn't just betraying a friend, he was betraying his own faith. If Judas's story makes you reflect on your own decisions in life, don't forget to subscribe and join us as we explore the contradictions, mysteries, and lessons from these historical tales. Throughout the Gospels, countless people had to make the decision of whether Jesus was the Messiah or just a madman. People like Antiochus Pilate, Caiaphas, and most dramatically, Judas. His decision to betray Jesus was far more complicated than simply turning away. It was the result of a series of disappointments, contradictions, and unmet expectations. For Judas, the price to pay was his belief in a conquering Messiah. The crushing disappointment of seeing a Jesus who was so different from the warrior he had imagined. And in the end, whether or not Judas believed Jesus was the Messiah, he still chose to sell him out. Just for a few pieces of silver, he betrayed his friend, the one who had treated him with love and sincerity. "Rabbi, my friend, do what you came to do," Judas said, and that was the moment his story ended. No matter how we understand the reasons behind his decision, the outcome didn't change. Judas became a symbol not just of betrayal, but also of disappointment, unmet expectations, and flawed decisions that people face when they lose their way in life. If you want to continue exploring more profound stories like this one, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss any videos on our journey.